All right. Guess we'll give a couple of minutes for people to get in here. It's been a while since I've done a podcast. Sam Ash, what's good? How you doing? It's been a while since I've done a podcast. I've said this a couple of weeks ago that every day I think about having a podcast. And I'm like, oh, this would be a good subject to talk about. And then once I get home, I'm like, nah, just don't. I end up not doing it. There's only so many hours in the day for me to get everything done or whatever. And I'm at a point where I want to be more efficient with my time. And I'm at a point where I'd rather spend my free time playing games rather than sitting behind a mic talking about them. So this is a rarity. Because I don't think I've done a podcast, and I mean, if you want to, I guess you could call my PS5 comparison on Rainbow Six, my PS5 to PC comparison of Rainbow Six. You could call that a podcast, but I did it while playing Rainbow Six. So to call it a full blown podcast, I would probably say no. But the way I'm feeling, I don't know when I'll have one again, but. You can probably tell by the title I'm a little bit disappointed at the news that just broke. So I've got a lot to say. The only problem is I don't know if I'll remember everything. And I don't know which order I'll say this stuff in, but I do know that I got a lot to say. I might forget some things, or depending on, comments in the chat, it could prompt me to talk about other things that I did not originally plan to talk about. So let's get right to it. I'm sure anybody who's tuned into this, you know what? One more thing before we get ready to go. Shout out to my boy J-Tech. I was checking out his stream, and you know how he get down with PlayStation. So, Sam Ash, MLB was desperate to get that Madden money, and they definitely ain't gonna get it now that they published the game into the rental service. They devalued it. That's the bottom line. They devalued the game. So Sam Ash, when you put it that way, this podcast isn't to really talk about the news itself. It's to talk about what I think is going to happen in the future, because this franchise is done as we know it. It's over. And I'll get to how I think we're going to get to that point. So everybody who knows, Sony, I ain't going to say Sony, but MLB The Show is going to Game Pass. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm a little bit embarrassed that I kind of didn't see this coming. It did cross my mind. I mean, because, the Game Pass going to MLB The Show going to Game Pass, to me that has a Phil Spencer stench all over it. But as far as Game Pass going to the Xbox platform, I can't necessarily say whether that was Phil Spence or whether that was MLB, because in Microsoft you have what is arguably the greediest corporation on the planet. And when it comes to Major League Baseball, they are undoubtedly the greediest sports organization on the planet. I don't think there's anybody out there greedier than MLB. Sam Ash, just a nice little get for Dollar Tree, but I don't see it maintain its quality. That's why I said it's done. This MLB The Show that you're going to get right here is done. This might be the last quality MLB The Show that you're going to get. Christopher Hart, the deal with MLB is not through Sony. MLB made that deal with Microsoft. I get that, but it still doesn't. It still don't change my view that the game is destroyed now. Like right before you got in here, I'm saying that MLB The Show going to Game Pass, I think that's Phil Spencer's handiwork. MLB The Show going to the Xbox in general, I don't know whose handiwork that is, because I was saying before you got in here that Microsoft is the greediest corporation on the planet, and Major League Baseball is the greediest sports organization on the planet. Look no further than the steroid thing that happened with MLB The Show. That shit started with Jose Canseco. Not so much, not from him opening his mouth, but from him hitting the home runs. He was knocking them out of the park, hitting about 50 home runs, close to 50 home runs a year. And then that prompted a bunch of other baseball players to start using steroids. Not because the collective bargaining agreement that they had in place at the time, because the players union with MLB is strong. The players union of MLB, they will stand up to MLB. The players union of the NBA and NHL hockey, they're not going to stand up to the machine. The players union in the NFL, it depends. If the NFL gets way too greedy, they'll stand up to them. But in the case of Major League Baseball, the players union will not only stand up to Major League Baseball, you have a case of the inmates running the prison. That's what you got with MLB, because the players union is just as greedy as their owners. Christopher Hart. Anything that goes to Microsoft and gaming will be ripped apart and stripped down in terms of quality. Exactly. So this brings us back to the steroid situation. Once Jose Canseco started knocking all those home runs out of the park, that prompted other players to start doing it. Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Rafael Palmeiro, and the list goes on and on and on. And their smug reactions when they were in court. Mark McGwire saying, "I'm not here to talk about the past. I'm here to talk about the future and the positives we can take from it." Rafael Palmeiro wagging his finger, "I've never taken steroids," just all that shit. These dudes was knocking the ball out of the park, getting about 50 home runs a year, and it was boosting ratings. I mean, I had never seen an era in baseball that's seen so many people hit home runs. Sammy Sosa, this dude hit home runs. He hit 60 home runs back to back. I think both. He hit the year that Mark McGwire broke the record. I think Mark McGwire hit 71 home runs that year, and Sammy Sosa hit 66. The next year, Sammy Sosa, I believe he hit 60. If I'm not mistaken, I think Babe Ruth, hit 60 home runs, and then Roger Maris came along and broke it with 61 home runs. Now you got all these people hitting 50 home runs. I had to block a troll posting things on my page. He said, also, Christopher Hart, you said, "I stopped trolling all these Xbox dudes, and now today tons of trolls came onto my Twitter page. I had to block them." Yeah, when I made that PS5 post, I had a couple of Xbox trolls come in there. I had to block them too. And then what other situation did we have? Also, a demonstration of MLB, Major League Baseball's greed, is when they added the wild card to the playoffs. Traditionally, in baseball, you had the American League and you had the National League. And I think what would happen is the division winners, because I think they only had like 2 divisions in each league, they would meet up and the winner would go to the World Series. I think the 2 pennant leaders, if you had like the East and West, because I think over in Major League Baseball, I think all you had was the the East and the West in both American and National League. The winners from the East and West would meet up. In the National League, you would have the National League East and West meet up with each other. The winner goes to the World Series. Same thing with the American League. But then they realigned the teams and they added a Central Division, I believe. So now, and I think that led to them eventually adding a wild card. So now you got a situation where in Major League Baseball, now you have 8 teams going to the playoffs instead of 4. You got the winners of the East, West, and Central in both the American and National League, and then you got the wild cards. So you went from having 4 teams in the playoffs to 8. Not to mention that MLB, Major League Baseball, might be the worst at making sure that their high market teams get to the World Series or at least get to the playoffs. So in the case of the NBA, for a lot of years they always made sure that either the LA Lakers or the Boston Celtics got into the playoffs. For a lot of years in the NFL, you had a situation where the referees, in my opinion, made sure that the New England Patriots or the Dallas Cowboys got into the playoffs. And in the case of MLB, it was the Yankees. It was nobody else. Not to mention that their owner, George Steinbrenner, was always putting together assault squads. He didn't have a problem opening up his wallet and bringing big name free agents over there. So, Sam Ash, you said, Link, do you honestly see the show in the top 50 games played on Xbox? Maybe for the first week, because even though we don't agree with this move, it took somebody from the outside to bring a quality game to the Xbox, because that's a shame. That's a shame when, as an Xbox fan, if I'm a toxic ass Xbox fan, I might feel kind of shitty knowing that for us to get a quality game, we had to get it from our enemy. Sony got a bunch of games, so Sony doesn't have any games that I'm screaming for. Sony doesn't have a bunch of games that I'm screaming for, so I wouldn't be in a situation where if Gears of War came to the PlayStation, I would give 2 shits left. Not only that, because, they destroyed that game too. Gears of War is trash now. So if it came to the PlayStation, I could give 2 shits less. But if I'm an Xbox fan, one half of me be like, oh yeah, we got a quality baseball game. When we got it from Sony. Now they sitting here licking their lips, hoping that they think that could probably lead to them getting Spider-Man, God of War. So how did we get here? I think what happened was now the way I understand it, Sony did not necessarily have. This is if my boy explained it to me the right way, because I own the original PlayStation, but I did not buy a PS2 because I was disgusted with Sony, because I felt like they created a shortage of the console in order to drive up demand. Sam Ash, I got Returnal, Kena, Ratchet and Clank coming. I'm more than likely still going to buy MLB The Show, despite this snafu. But it might be the last year that I buy it, because I think starting next year the game is going to go down in quality until it gets to the point where it's a bargain, not even a bargain bin game, just a watered down game. Yeah, I think Sony needs to focus on reserving rights for certain games in a certain ecosystem. This was out of their hands. Again, with MLB The Show, you're dealing with the greediest sports organization on the planet. I just broke down how greedy they were with the steroid situation, with the playoff situation, how they expanded the playoff format. So what I don't know is who came to who. I don't know if it was a situation where you know what? Let me go back again. My boy, one of my boys that live in Rhode Island. When the PS3 came out, I still didn't like Sony. I wanted Xbox to destroy them actually because I was still furious about the PS2 situation. And I had refused to buy a PS3 for the longest. And one of my boys was like, man, he said, for me, he said, please try PS3 and get MLB The Show. He said, it's the best baseball game out there. And he said, I need somebody to play with. So I said, okay. And I went and bought my first PS3. I bought the 40 gig PS3 because you remember they were $600 and $500 respectively. And then, you know, when Sony did the realigning and shit like that, they came out with the 40 gig PS3. And I bought the original one, the one that looked like a giant ass pressure cooker. I bought that and I tried MLB The Show and I fell in love with it. I was a Sony fan ever since. I loved MLB The Show. And MLB The Show was that was one of the deciding factors of me getting the PS4. I've told this story before. When it came down to Xbox One and PS4, I was trying to decide which one to get first. And you know, my Xbox friends and even my own cousin was like, we ain't getting PlayStations. If you want to play with us, you're gonna have to get an Xbox. That rubbed me the wrong way, especially coming from my own cousin. That rubbed me the wrong way. And then you had Donnie D was like, you know, in so many words, if you ain't got internet, go get a 360. Along with the 24-hour check-in and our digital rights management, all that bullshit, that solidified my decision to go with a PS4. And as far as the games go, I really didn't care what was coming up. All I cared about was MLB The Show. That was it. I didn't care about any other games that was coming to the format. And those who've been following my channel for the 3 years that I've been on YouTube, you know that half of my streams when I first came to YouTube, half of my streams was MLB The Show and GT Sport. I mean, who was there when I had those iconic games against, you know, against Porter Rock and Thrash and against King Thrash? You know, not to mention my boy Gunru Gaming. You know, I played against him online before too. So did a lot of MLB The Show streams before I switched over to VR. So when this deal was done about MLB The Show coming to Xbox, I don't know who came to who. I don't know if it was a situation where somebody brought it to the commissioner's attention that Sony's contract was about to run out. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. From what I understand, from what my boy told me, when the PS3 was out, the contract that Sony had in place with MLB at the time was they were the only first-party publishers. They had the exclusive first-party rights. They didn't have exclusive rights the way EA does with Madden. They had the exclusive first-party rights because MLB 2K was still out there. 2K still had their baseball game, but it wasn't as good as MLB The Show. They made it a couple of more years, and then they bowed out. And MLB The Show was the only one out there. I don't know if the dynamics of their agreement had changed, but I was under the impression that maybe over the years they ended up reworking it where Sony ended up having exclusive rights across the board because nobody tried to come and challenge them. Because I'm led to believe that EA wants to have a monopoly on all the major sports. I'm led to believe that EA wants the exclusive rights of all the major sports games, basketball, football, hockey, baseball, so they can put it all on their Origin subscription service. So when EA had, if that was the case, if the original agreement that I thought was still in place, so where Sony has first party rights, but third party could still make a baseball game. That's the impression that I was under. If that was the case, EA could have made a baseball game a long time ago. because EA did not make a baseball game, I was led to believe that Sony had exclusive rights across the board. So when it came time to renew the contract, I don't know who came to who. I don't know if Phil Spencer went to MLB to show, went to the baseball commissioner and said, "Look, Sony's contract is about to expire. This is a great opportunity for you to expand and make more money by bringing the game to the Xbox platform." Or did somebody within MLB go to the commissioner and say, "Hey, Sony's contract is about to expire. We need to look for more ways to, draw up some more revenue for our franchise, for our brand." I don't know how that worked. So Sam Ash, you said if 2K was still making a quality baseball game, the show would still only be PlayStation and 2K would be all on it. I'm gonna tell you where 2K fell apart was when when Sega sold them. Now 2K football and 2K basketball still remain good franchises even after Take-Two picked them up. But Sega had their own lineup of games. They had tennis on the Dreamcast. They had it all covered across the board. They had Tennis 2K. They had NBA 2K with Allen Iverson on the cover. They had NFL 2K with Randy Moss on the cover. They had their Major League Baseball 2K, but they would kind of have a different person on the cover every year. I think at the time that I was playing it on the Sega Dreamcast, I think Pedro Martinez was on the cover. But once they sold out the 2K, I think the Tennis 2K gone. Oh yeah, and not to mention that Sega also had NHL 2K, the hockey game. Very, very good hockey game. Those was I'm telling you, when Sega owned all those franchises, those games were so fun and so innovative. And as far as NBA 2K goes, even after Take-Two took over the franchise, I think they still remain creative for a couple of years. But I think once microtransactions came into the play, I think they stopped being creative, and it all became about the microtransactions. Snake Doctor, NBA 2K5 with Rip Hamilton on the cover. Bro, Detroit, baby, Detroit. Who you talking to, Snake Doctor? My dusty, dirty hat, Detroit. Alabama Jones, what's up? Rome Rush, what's good? Yo, my dog Lincoln, what's good with you, man? We definitely gotta hook up on that Madden, hook up on some sports shit. Alabama Jones, the NHL wasn't as good as the EA version. I still think here was the problem, in my opinion, with the hockey 2K, even when Sega still owned it, that there was no fighting in it. The EA version of the hockey had fighting in it. A couple dudes bump each other, and then you go into the fight sequence. They didn't exactly have that on the hockey 2K, but I thought the gameplay was good enough that I didn't care that there was no fighting in it. When the console wars was first starting and shit like that, people was comparing, not exactly the console war, but when people was comparing 2K to Madden, that's really all that they could say about EA's version of the hockey game was you could fight in that one. They couldn't really say that it was better. All they could really say was you could fight. So yeah, so getting back to what I think happened, Sam Ash, you said, listen, Blades of Steel was and the best hockey game ever made, period. It's hard for me to argue. Well, I guess that's subjective because way back in the original PlayStation days, there were so many football games to choose from. The original Xbox, well, they wasn't out then. They didn't come out until PlayStation 2 was already out. But like back then, you had NFL 2K to choose from. I think you had NFL QB Club or something like that, because like all like the quarterbacks of the NFL all kind of formed their own union, so to speak, and endorsed a football game. NFL QB Club. You had like NFL Blitz. You had that shit, that wacky ass shit. You had NFL Street. True Virgil was good. You had Midway did QB Club. Okay, so but you get where I'm coming from, Alabama Jones. There was a lot of football games out there to choose from. AJ, what's good, my guy? Hell, I mean, even now, if you want to take it back to the Sega Genesis days, there was a few baseball games to choose from. RBI baseball and shit like that. So short story long, I think Sony got backed up in the corner. I think, like I said, I don't know who put the bug in the commissioner's ear. I don't know if it was somebody from within baseball or if it was Phil Spencer, but somebody went to them and told them that I believe that somebody told them Sony's contract, their license is about to expire. This is a good chance to expand. And says Morales was good. You said Holes mad. Alabama Jones. Sony Acclaim did QB. Midway did the Blitz. Okay. Sam Ash, I used to buy Madden every year until I realized I was nuts for doing it. Jim Ryan, Sam Ash, I did not have a problem with Madden until they got the exclusive rights, the exclusive NFL rights, because people seen this coming. People was talking about how with EA having the only football game out there, they're not going to have any motivation to make an innovative game. They're not going to have any motivation to make the game look better. They're not going to have, they're just going to give us the same rinse and repeat shit every year. And that's exactly what they did. Jay Barry was good. He said, dude, stop console war and deal with it. Xbox Game Pass, best deal in gaming. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, man. I'm primarily a VR dude. But I had to say something about this because let's use the PS5 for an example. 98% of the reason why I wanted a PS5 was for PSVR 2 that's coming presumably next year. I keep giving you guys different percentages, 90%, 95%. Today, I'm going to tell you that it's 98%. 98% of the reason that I wanted a PS5 was for PSVR 2. The other 2% was for MLB The Show and God of War. Now one of them is no longer an exclusive. And you had fat ass Aaron Greenberg rubbing that shit in everybody's face on Twitter when the deal was first made, saying no longer exclusive. He didn't say we're happy to bring it to Xbox. He was like no longer exclusive, thumbing that shit up in their face. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit worked up. So bottom line is, I'm thinking when MLB The Show came to Sony and told them that we want this game expanded on other platforms, I know EA had to be waiting in the corner just licking their chops, because if Sony would have like, nah, go ahead, you guys go ahead and take it. It was a pleasure doing business with you. We'll pass. EA would have jumped on that MLB license and they would have had control of all the major sports, and they would have put that shit on Origin, and it would have been the only way that you would have been able to play it. Let's see here. Snake Doctor, back in the 90s and early mid 2000s, there was so much competition with all the sports titles. I missed that. Adriana Gomez, does it make sense for it to be exclusive? The baseball, it makes sense for the PlayStation brand, because the difference is Sony is trying to sell consoles. Microsoft is trying to sell a service. Sony brings people to the console with the games. If the games are not going to be exclusive to the PlayStation console, what's the sense of getting the console when you know you can get it anywhere? So And I haven't even gotten to the point of I haven't even gotten to the part yet where I think this whole thing devalues MLB The Show. And moving forward, starting next year, you're going to see a downcline. You're going to see a decline in the quality of this game to the point where, you might see MLB The Show on scratch-off tickets. Go to the lottery, say, give me two of those MLB The Shows and scratch off. Oh shit, I won. Just so Sony has every reason to bring you quality games because it sells the console. What reason do you have to buy an Xbox? Well, I mean, we've been through that a million times. You guys know this. So I'm beating a dead horse by saying that. But yeah, I think Sony got backed into a corner. They had no choice. If they didn't go along with this, EA was going to get hold of that MLB license. They would have had control of all the major sports. They already got Madden. NBA Live. They'll never, 2K ain't never gonna let that license go, and the NBA will never try this shit with 2K that they just did with Sony. I mean, because it's available on all platforms, but EA will never be able to secure that NBA license exclusively because NBA 2K is a much higher selling franchise than NBA Live. They'll never get that, but it still would, in my opinion. They still would have had enough control of the major sports. Baseball, they would have the only baseball game out there. They got the only hockey game out there. They got the only football game out there. They got FIFA, which I don't think FIFA is the only soccer game out there. I think PES Soccer is out there. But EA has the license with the major sanctioning body with FIFA. All those games, FIFA, Madden, NHL hockey, MLB baseball, whatever they come up with, along with NBA Live, that's 5 major sports that they would have put on Origin, and I think Origin would have been the only way you could have gotten it. It was the only way you could have gotten to those games. So, in that aspect, at the time, I think Sony took the lesser of the two medicines by going ahead and go along with MLB's plan to expand the game to other platforms. I think they were handcuffed. And hearing this news today still stings, but I just don't think they had a choice. I'm going along with what Jazz said. I think that the pre-orders probably had a big part in MLB The Show going to Game Pass. I would say that, see, that part I didn't see coming. The Game Pass part I didn't see coming because what I thought was going to happen was that I knew that MLB The Show was not going to sell as well on the Xbox. What I thought would, but it's a prestigious game. And it's the first, in my opinion, it's the first quality game that they're getting day one. So my thinking was that MLB, Major League Baseball, has enough sense to not let this shit go on Game Pass because you're going to stifle sales if you do that. I mean, my thinking was that, the game could probably sell 1 or 2 million units if they just sell the game outright. My thinking was that they would sell the game throughout the season, and then maybe a week or two before the World Series, then MLB The Show would go to Game Pass. I did not see this shit coming where it'd be going to Game Pass day one. A major franchise, in my opinion, a franchise that Sony spends millions of dollars a year developing this game, going to Game Pass. The shit don't even, if Sony was that goddamn greedy, they would have put the shit on PS Now. It would have been on PS Now day one. But they trying to sell the console, and this game was the reason to buy the console. But because of this fuck shit that MLB did, they've devalued the game, and they've somewhat devalued the PlayStation. There's some people out there right now in my opinion, this probably got both a PlayStation and an Xbox. And they were probably trying to decide which console to buy the game for. The conventional thinking would have me thinking that they would want to buy it on the PlayStation, because since this is a PlayStation developed game, that they would probably think they would get the best version on the PlayStation. But once they learned that this shit's going to be coming to Game Pass and they already have a Game Pass membership, that is a sale lost. To me, that's two sales lost. Because Sony, the PlayStation, Sony's not going to get the sale for it on the PlayStation. And now you're not going to sell the game as an Xbox game. Now they're going to jump on Game Pass. So let me go back and read some of these comments. Xbox One, Christopher Hart, Xbox One finally gets one quality game since they can't get any from Xbox. Exactly. Sam Ash, that's a fact, Link. Let me see here. Adriana Jones, Gomez, I'm sorry. Outriders Day 1. That shit looked like garbage anyway. MLB was disappointed in Sony's sales. If not, it wouldn't be on Game Pass. I disagree that they were disappointed in Sony's sales. I mean, you may be joking, but they had to be disappointed. You know what? If they were disappointed in Sony's sale, why tell them to put it on Game Pass instead of telling them to put it on PS Now? If MLB was disappointed in Sony's sale, they would have told them to put it on PS Now and not Game Pass. They were disappointed with the Xbox pre-orders because we know they don't buy games. I'm preaching to the choir with this. We all know they don't buy fucking games. So this is what I thought was going to happen. I'll say the MLB The Show was probably going to sell 5 million copies on the PlayStation and probably sell 1 million on the Xbox. And then, like I said, right before the World Series, when baseball is still hot, then they move the game over to Game Pass and get everybody to run over there and get those Game Pass memberships while baseball is still the hot item during the World Series. I didn't see this shit coming day one. I didn't see this shit coming day one. Yeah, I'm embarrassed that I didn't see it coming day one. It is a quality franchise. And I thought Major League Baseball saw the value of this game on the Sony side and wouldn't dare do that Game Pass shit and devalue the game. How wrong I was. Say Jay Barry says facts. Sam Ash, if Sony was disappointed in the show's sales, Sony would have canceled all development in that franchise. Definitely. Yeah, they would have canceled development of the franchise, but MLB The Show is one of the reasons people run out and buy the PlayStation. I'm one of them. That was one of the factoring decisions when I bought my PS5. You guys heard me say before that the top of my priority list was to get an RTX 3080. But I had said whichever comes up first, the graphics card or PS5, I would jump on it. The PS5, I got it. I went through a little bit of bullshit to get it, but I got it. My thinking was that, okay, PSVR 2 doesn't come out till next year, but I can still at least enjoy MLB The Show this year. Even though I know it's going to be on the Xbox. I still have an Xbox One S. I still have my PS4 Pro. But I was thinking that, hey, having a PS5, I would get the best version of the game, even if the Xbox Series X has supposedly got more power. I still believe that the best version of the game is going to be on the PS5. So there was still a little bit of motivation for me to go ahead and grab the PS5. Now I'm kind of feeling some type of way. I go off and drop $500 on the PS5 only to find out that this shit is going to Game Pass. I mean, if I wasn't so much into VR, I might have said fuck the PS5. I might have said I might have went off and bought a Game Pass membership for 1 month, played it, and been done with it. But I love baseball. You guys know, some of you guys know my story. We've got a baseball team here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, called the West Michigan Whitecaps. I tried out for them, and I tried out for a couple of teams that they played against. I love baseball. I definitely have a passion for it. And baseball, to me, baseball is just as much a chess match as any other sport. It's a lot of thinking involved. Chance plays a big part of it, but you do a lot of thinking in order to get that chance. Yes, AJ. MLB The Show is going to Game Pass. Let's see here. Adriana Gomez, and Microsoft paid to get it in Game Pass, but no way they would cancel the game. I didn't say Sony was disappointed. I said MLB was. Oh yeah, definitely in agreement there. I'm sure shitty ass pre-orders probably had a lot to do with it. Look how quick Microsoft reversed their policies when the PS4 was killing them in pre-sales. When the PS4 and Xbox One first launched, they was getting killed in pre-orders, and they quickly wiped out that digital rights management. They quickly broke the connect away from the console and allowed you to do that. They stopped the 24-hour check-in. They allowed you to share games. All that shit. Pre-orders can affect some shit. So, Snake Doctors, you saying, are they a Detroit Tigers affiliate? Who would you be talking about? Christopher Hart, you have a sports family. I never knew you tried out for baseball. Yeah. I mean, y'all know who I am? I mean, let me take that back. That sounds narcissist. I just assumed that for those that follow my channel for a while, I kept it a secret for a while that I'm Floyd Mayweather's first cousin. So yeah, I come from a family of athletes. I also come from a family of trash talkers. All that shit talking that you see Floyd do, I've been seeing that shit since he was 5 years old. The whole family talks shit. Floyd Sr. talks shit. Roger talks shit. Jeff, even my uncle Jeff, who appears to be the humble one on camera, he talks shit. Off camera, he will talk shit. I've seen him talk so much shit on the basketball court, it's crazy. Because when Jeff was young, he was a much better basketball player than he was a boxer. So, I even told a couple of stories about when I was young. No, they're called the West Michigan Whitecaps. Yes, they are a Detroit Tigers affiliate. They used to be an affiliate with the Oakland A's, but what happened was the Oakland A's was spending a lot of money drafting these kids and then sending them way over here to Michigan, to groom them. So they sold the Whitecaps to the Tigers, and the Tigers bought them because it saved travel time. Now, from what I understand, the West Michigan Whitecaps used to be the Madison Huskies, but they moved here. So it wasn't a team that we started out of nowhere. We bought, they moved here and became the West Michigan Whitecaps. So now when the Detroit Tigers draft somebody, single A ball is kind of like the bottom of the barrel. You got rookie ball and shit like that. But as far as the farm systems goes, you got single A, double A, and triple A. When somebody gets drafted by the Detroit Tigers, a lot of them get sent here to Grand Rapids. So, the people, so that kind of keeps a lot of people coming to the Whitecaps games because we know that we're looking at future Detroit Tigers. Same thing with our hockey team that we got here. We got a hockey team called the Grand Rapids Griffins. They were kind of an independent team, but the Detroit Red Wings bought them, and they're now kind of like a developmental team. So whenever somebody gets drafted by the Detroit Red Wings, they get sent here to Grand Rapids for the Grand Rapids Griffins. Sam Ash, what I can't stand though are the Xbox fanboys who decide to pocket watch people who have no problem spending their money on gaming because this is a hobby they love. Definitely agree. So, again, the original deal between, I'm not going to say the original deal, the original strong arm tactic by Major League Baseball to force Sony to put the game on other platforms. I don't know whose dirty work that was because, like I said, both Microsoft and MLB as a sports organizations are two of the greediest organizations on the planet. I don't know who did the dirty work on that shit. but this shit going to Game Pass has a Phil Spencer stench all over it. So we definitely know that was his handiwork. As far as I'm concerned, Major League Baseball probably didn't even know what the pre-orders looked like. All they probably cared about was getting their checks from Microsoft. But I'm willing to bet Phil Spencer, I need to talk to the commissioner for a minute and open this briefcase and pin the chart up on the board and shit. And these are the pre-orders. These are the pre-orders here. These are the pre-orders on the PlayStation. Not looking very good, but we can, I think we can still get a lot, user engagements. Most of it's on Game Pass, blah, 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 and probably told them we'll pay you $5 or $10 million to let the game go to Game Pass. Because a game like this, you're not going to be able to strong arm them the way you strong arm all these other developers, put these old ass games on Game Pass and offer them a $1.13 plus tax. That shit ain't going to fly with this. I'm sure Microsoft paid a pretty penny for this shit to go to Game Pass day one. Sam Ash, what is MLB going to do when they don't see the money from the Xbox side they're hoping for? It might be too late by then. Because what I think ultimately is going to happen is, this is what I think is going to happen moving forward. You already hurt the Sony side of this whole situation by this situation even coming up in the first place. There are people that have the Xbox. They're probably, only a couple of people, but there were people that, in my opinion, that were willing to buy a PlayStation in order to play MLB The Show. And I'm being one of them. But now you have a situation where they don't have to buy a PlayStation now in order to play MLB The Show. That right there is going to stifle some of that's a few console sales that Sony has lost out on. Now you have a situation where they for those who already have Game Pass, oh shit, I don't have to pay $70. It's included in my Game Pass membership. It's free. Oh shit, on the Xbox side, they would be a goddamn fool to go buy the game for $70 now. Now that it's going to be included in a Game Pass membership at no extra charge. Meanwhile, everybody buying it on the PlayStation is going to drop that $70. It's going to be feeling some type of way, and I'm one of them. I know I can get Game Pass, but I don't like it. I'm not a fan of subscriptions like that. Let's see here. Elysium Core, you do realize that Sony gets full development costs, especially if it goes to Game Pass, regardless of the optics are bad for PlayStation. This is what I'm trying to tell you, though. Next year, it's going to be assumed that MLB The Show will go to Game Pass day one. That being said, there's going to be people out there who have both an Xbox and a PlayStation and probably have Game Pass that's not even going to bother buying this game for the PlayStation when they can, get it on Game Pass and play it for a couple of months and then cancel their orders. Sales are going to be lost on the PlayStation side from this. It will be an immediate effect on this. People can say this affects Sony. This affects sales of the console because I said it before. Sony is trying to sell consoles. Microsoft is trying to sell a service. How does Sony sell those consoles? By providing you with quality games. And now one of those games, they have to share it with somebody now. And the people that they have to share it with have means to play it without having to buy the Sony console. Let me see here. Sam Ash, they're going to have to pay this every single year because Microsoft trained their consumers into not buying games. Agreed. Adriana Jones, I believe Game Pass is helping dying dev teams, which is good for gaming. Also, right, Sony used to do it. I don't see San Diego Studios, the developers of MLB The Show, as a dying developer. In fact, they were growing every year because each year MLB The Show establishes itself as the premium baseball game. Now you put it on a bargain bin subscription service, and you've totally devalued the game. Now, I have I have a PS5, I have a PS4 Pro, I have a PC, and I have an Xbox One S. If I did not care where I played the game at, and I was unbiased towards subscription services, where do you think I would buy the game at now? Well, not buy it. Where do you think I would play the game at? I don't want to use the word buy anymore. Where do you think I would play the game at? Yeah, Sam, as you said, if San Diego was a dying studio, they would be dead already. I don't know what other games they make besides MLB The Show. Sales are going to be affected moving forward. Sales are going to be moving forward. Sales are going to be affected. Not as many people are going to buy this game on a PlayStation, and not as many people are going to be, in terms of how many people would buy the PlayStation just for this game. I'm one of a few, but I'm still one that counts. But for people who already own the PlayStation, that's got Xboxes and they got Game Pass, it's a no-brainer. You're going to play it on Game Pass. Sales lost. That being said, if it is assumed that this is going to go to Game Pass every year moving forward until Microsoft gets tired of paying them, I think the quality is going to go down, because I think when Sony sees that the PlayStation side of this game is not selling what it used to because of a lot of people running the Game Pass to play it, I think we're going to start getting a cheap, watered-down game. We're going to see them going the EA route, where they don't improve the graphics, they don't get innovative. And then another thing that I can see happen is it's kind of out there right now. MLB The Show does have some microtransactions. But one of the other things that I can see happening with MLB The Show is that once this buzz wears off and and people are not flocking on the Game Pass to play this game, then you see MLB come to Sony or come to San Diego studios and tell them to put some microtransactions in this game. And now this San Diego Padres uniform that you looking at might be polka dot or have a candy cane stripe on it, just so they can get these damn Fortnite skins on there and get people buying it, buying microtransactions and shit. So, I mean, this is probably going to be the beginning of something bad. Not speaking on the show, I meant dying devs and his PlayStation Plus, a bargain bin subscription. It's cheaper in Game Pass. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I didn't, Microsoft Adriana Gomez, Microsoft are opportunists. A lot of these devs whose games are on Game Pass were probably already hurting in the first place. So Microsoft used Game Pass to exploit them. The game is dead. It wasn't going anywhere, especially if it was a single player game that was already 5 years old. Nobody gonna buy the shit, so they gonna take them little couple of pennies that Microsoft paid them. So, but this is a major franchise right here that is not going to increase in value. It's going to decrease in value. The amount of people are not going to, the numbers on the PlayStation side are not going to go up because of this. It's going to go down because some of those people are going to migrate over to Game Pass to play it. That being said, this game is going to slowly devalue. And I think once they see that happening, like I said, I think we're going to get the watered down treatment. And I hate to think that MLB The Show 3 years from now could end up looking like some cheap ass Crackdown or Bleeding Edge looking shit. I hate to see that happen, but it is a realistic possibility now. I have to come to grips with that. That being said, this year could be the last year that I buy MLB The Show, because I only see the franchise going downhill from here. Let's see here. Matrix. You said it's crazy. This game was huge moneymaker for Sony, but the optics are terrible. What they can do is putting it on PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus to reverse perception. I agree with that conditionally. Is, you know what, as far as I'm concerned, don't be, you know what, now that I stop and think about it, you bring up an interesting point, Matrix. Being an MLB forced Sony to put this shit on Game Pass day one, Def Floyd, what's up? Don't be surprised if, say, after 2 months, once this game loses steam from people buying it, don't be surprised if it ends up on PlayStation Plus in 2 months. I think what happens is the first 2 months, they'll take whatever they can get off the sales. After that, the game goes on sale once or twice, where the game sells for $50 on the PS5, $40 on the PS4. They do that a couple of times, and then once that shit dries all up, then it goes to PlayStation Now. So I'm calling it out right now. This game will also be on PlayStation Now. The only reason why they won't put it on there day one is because they still have loyal fans that would pay the $70 for this game. If the PlayStation user base was like the Microsoft user base, where they don't buy shit and they get conditioned to have buy shit for a $1 membership, this game would be on PlayStation Now day one as well. But they know they can get $70 out of a few people for the first couple of months, and then so I'm saying it right now. You hearing it from me first. This game is going to be on PlayStation Now before the end of the year. Jay Barr, you know what sucks? It doesn't have to be in PS Now or Plus. The fact is there is no discount for PlayStation Plus subs or no exclusive in-game stuff for PlayStation owners. Well, now that could change now that the game has been devalued because of Game Pass. You know and then what is it? Over on Game Pass, ain't they getting the deluxe edition over on Game Pass? How long you gonna slap the Sony user base in the face like that, making them pay $80, $90 for the deluxe edition, and then over on the Xbox side, they ain't getting charged extra for the shit. They still getting it free, so to speak, in their minds, because it's part of the Game Pass membership. How long they gonna slap their user base in the face like that? How long are people gonna take that shit? I'm telling you, sales of this shit is gonna go down. It is not going to go up. Especially, in my opinion, if you have an Xbox Series X and you already got a Game Pass membership, it's a no-brainer to play this shit on the Xbox, because you will get what is perceived to be the best version of the game, since it's supposed to be the world's most powerful console, and you're not paying an extra dime for it. So I think, damn, I hate to think of it this way, but again, people who have an Xbox, both a PlayStation and an Xbox, that was only there for MLB to show, and they already have Game Pass, it's over. They're not buying this game anymore. They're not going to pay the $70 for it anymore. Lost sales. Jay Barry, exactly, Lincoln, thanks. Adriana Gomez, yeah, Game Pass usually gives you the deluxe. That's going to be fucked up. And on the PlayStation side, if they still want the deluxe version of the game, they still gonna have to pay $80, $90, $100, however much they charge for the shit. Damn, if Microsoft continues to pull shit like this was an opportunity. This wasn't a situation where somebody was hurting for money and Microsoft pounced on them and exploited them. This was a situation where a greedy ass entity, Major League Baseball, greedy ass entity, wanted to make more money. That they didn't survey the entire landscape before they did this shit. They obviously didn't survey the landscape that over on the Xbox side, nobody buys games over there. Somebody should have been able to predict this shit, that if over on the Xbox side, They don't buy games over there. So if we put this game on Xbox, you probably better be prepared to put this shit on Game Pass. So I think this was a knee-jerk move. I think this was a last-second move when somebody probably brought those pre-order numbers to their attention. Def Floyd, they need to be smart consumers and not buy it. That would lead, honestly, see, that's a double-edged sword there, because that will lead to the devaluing of the game even faster. Because when Sony sees that nobody's buying it, nobody's buying it on the Xbox side. We know that. They're getting it through Game Pass. We take a stand over here on the PlayStation side and we don't buy it, next year's MLB The Show will most certainly look like some State of Decay 2 quality. It will be some bullshit. That is a fact. Mark my words right there. Cut that shit in concrete. Adriana Gomez, honestly, with this being the first year of it on Xbox, wouldn't you put it in Game Pass to see if you could build a fan base? Hell no! I thought the plan to put it on Xbox was to make as much money off of it as you can in sales. I figured that from April when the game launches all the way to the beginning of November, they would take what they can get off the sales. Even if they only sell 500,000 units, even if they sell 1,000,000 units, whatever they can get, they'll take it. And then right at the height of the baseball, when the World Series is going on, like maybe right before the baseball playoffs start, not the World Series, maybe at the end of October when the baseball playoffs start, then you can put it on Game Pass. Then people will flock over there, especially if their favorite team is in the playoffs. Then people will go flying over to Game Pass to get it. Not day one, because you could have hit them twice. That was my thinking is. You don't put it on Game Pass, you get the sales, then you put it on Game Pass. You could have hit them twice. Nope. They wanted to go ahead and take that short-term drug money, that quick money. Pre-orders probably wasn't looking that good, and Phil Spencer knocked on the door with a briefcase and probably opened it up and probably saw $5-10 million in cash in there. All right, and Phil Spencer probably told them, you ain't gonna, our engagement numbers show that all the activity is on Game Pass, not in the sales of the game itself. So, there you go. Sam Ash, Ryan would gut that studio in a heartbeat. Yeah, Lion Ryan. Matrix, yeah, with this news, a lot of people won't pay $70. The perceived value decreased too much. Again. One of my friends that's that was in the chat, AJ. That's one of my friends who lives here in Grand Rapids. He has both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I don't know if he has a Game Pass membership, but assuming he does, which route is he going to go to play the game? Lost sale right there. On the Sony side, lost sale. Big Daddy X, you said hell Xbox. Elysium Core, you were saying if PlayStation fans are pissed, vote with your wallets. It's like I said, I think if the PlayStation fans do that, it will accelerate the inevitable destruction of this franchise. This franchise is already going to go downhill because it's going to Game Pass. But when they see that it's not selling on both sides and Game Pass is the only activity that this game is getting, you're going to start getting low quality games. You're going to start getting a baseball game that's got the quality equal to State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3, Bleeding Edge, all that cheap ass bullshit. To put it in food terms, the Microsoft exclusives are microwave burritos. That's that shit that'll tear your fucking stomach up, and you might end up in the hospital. That's what MLB The Show is going to wind up being if the PlayStation fans walk off of this field right now. The PlayStation fans are the ones who can keep this game from going to PS Now more sooner than later. It's definitely going to go to PS Now, in my opinion, before the year is up. But if they don't buy it, it's going to be there more sooner. Sam Ash, then EA gets the license and bleed everyone with microtransactions along with the Origin memberships. That's what I think EA was trying to do with the Origin memberships. I think they were trying to get hold of a monopoly of all the major sports. I think that EA was trying to get hold of the secure license with NHL hockey. We know they got the Madden membership. We know they got the FIFA membership. We know they got NBA Live. They'll never take that license exclusively because NBA 2K sells too well for them to be able to get that shit exclusively. And then if they would have been able to get the baseball license out of the 5 major sports, they would have had exclusive licenses with 4 of them. 4 out of 5, that's enough for them to go ahead and try to throw all that shit behind the paywall on the Origin memberships, on the Origin subscriptions. Adriana Gomez, you said Halos and Gears are not microwave burritos. Come on, man. Okay, let me rephrase that. I do think Gears is a microwave burritos. It's not what it was when Epic made the first 3 games. Gears 5 has become some fluorescent looking Fortnite shit now. It's not what it used to be. And then you know what? That's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not even going to talk about the dynamics of Gears. I'm just going to leave that alone. But you get my picture. Ricardo Sosa, thank you so much. Your meltdown made my day. You know what? Ricardo, enjoy it because you probably won't see it again. Because I'm a VR guy. Almost everything I play is VR. And I said it before that like 98% of the reason why I have a PS5 is because of PSVR 2. I still have my PlayStation Pro as well as my current PSVR. The other 2% was for MLB The Show and God of War. I mean, let's say I didn't have a PS5, right? Let's say something crazy was to happen and they were to announce that God of War Ragnarok was going to Game Pass. Sony would be bankrupt, in my opinion, because it's a blatant slap in the face because you would have tricked your user base into believing that invest in this console because we're going to give you games that you can only get here. If they would have done some shit like that again, Sony would be done. The PlayStation brand would be done. At least from a console, from a hardware standpoint. Adriana Gomez, we want games to be what they used to be. We believe in generations, man. You know what, Adriana Gomez? I'm going to tell you what games used to be. On the original Xbox, they had a ton of exclusives that was made for the console, whereas at the time, I think Sony didn't have that many exclusives for the PlayStation 2 that was built from the ground up for the PlayStation 2. I think Sony just had a lot of marketing deals in place because if I'm not mistaken, when Madden first came to the Xbox, the first year that Madden was on the Xbox, you couldn't play it online. And I think that was because EA wanted to use their own servers, and I think Microsoft wanted them to use Xbox Live. I don't know who bit the knee on that one, but I do know that the first year that Madden was on the Xbox, you couldn't play it online. And I was disgusted with it because I bought Madden the first year it came out on the Xbox, and I couldn't play it online. And I was still disgusted with Sony. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to buy a PS2 just so I can play this shit online. I kind of like went back to my defunct Sega Dreamcast and played some games on there. Sam Ash, I quit Gears 5 before even finishing Chapter 2 of the game. Wasn't compelling enough. Exactly. I can't go any further than that. I can't comment any further than that because then I would be bringing politics into the game. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further commenting on Gears 5 except to say it was trash. Matrix, if God of War Ragnarok goes to Game Pass, most people will just migrate to PC. That's what I eventually think is going to happen. Nick, I'd like Jim Ryan to explain to me why I should buy MLB on PlayStation rather than play it on Game Pass. You just right there. Sale lost, Nick. Lost PlayStation sale right there. You just explained it. If you got an Xbox and you got a Game Pass membership, especially if you got the Xbox Series X, you would be getting what would be perceived to be the best version of the game, and you would be getting it at no extra cost, and you would have access to the best, to the deluxe version of the game. Adriana Gomez, no, you went back to QB Club. Joystick Guru just in to say the MLB on Game Pass is a huge L. These are Sony fans out here actually trying to say it isn't. That's a huge L. I've been trying to say that, like, I actually feel some kind of way because I just got a PlayStation 5. We know the PlayStation VR 2 isn't coming out until next year, and you know that I'm primarily VR, and this is primarily a VR channel. So MLB The Show was one of the factors in me going ahead and grabbing a PlayStation now, when I could have waited until next year until PlayStation VR 2 comes out. I went ahead and grabbed it now, but knowing that it's gonna be on Game Pass day one, shit. I could have bought Game Pass for 1 month, played it, and then determined if I like it or not. And then shut off the subscription. That's what's gonna happen to this game. People gonna play it for a week, people gonna play it for 2 weeks. It's probably gonna be in the top 50 for the first couple of weeks that it's out. It's going to be in the top 50. I even dare say that it might be in the top 30. But after that, it falls off and it's dead. Nick, you said Phil Spencer schooled Jim Ryan. Today, Phil is the better executive. Hey, that's why I call him Bishop Phil Magic Spencer. He's the biggest pimp in gaming. He know how to work them hoes. He know how to get them hoes out on the corner and make that money. Sam Ash, those fans are using Microsoft line about getting the money. Ugh. Joystick, you said, I don't know what they're over there doing at Sony. Now, look, Joystick, we know this situation was out of Sony's hands. This shit coming to Xbox in the first place was out of their hands. And I truly believe that somebody went to the commissioner and showed them some shitty ass pre-order numbers. And then Phil Spencer opened up a briefcase and was like, $5 million, $2 million, Game Pass. You only got 10,000 pre-orders. What's that? $60,000? You know what? No, let me say that again. No, you only got 1,000 pre-orders. That's $60,000. Right here, this briefcase, $10 million. It's all yours. Game Pass. Dangle that contract in his face. Game Pass. $10 million. $10 million. So really, even though this shit has a Microsoft stench to it, has a Phil Spencer stench to it, he seized an opportunity. Although they created this fucking bubble to begin with, by creating a subscription service and you know, putting some of these devs in a stranglehold, but Adriana Gomez, if you like it, you can buy it for a Game Pass discount. You know what? Sick Humor said it best. He said, for these people talking about wanting to buy the game, it's because people wasn't buying games in the first place that they created this service. So you gonna make me believe that you spent all year playing this game on Game Pass and now you want to buy it? Really? Sick nailed it. He nailed it when he said that. Alabama Jones, baseball fans going to buy the game, especially since they all been playing on the Xbox. Is RBI baseball. No, they not going to buy this game, Alabama Jones. They're going to get it on Game Pass. Honestly, no matter how much these people cap for the Xbox, no matter how much they cap for the Xbox, no matter how many people claim that the Xbox might be the better console, a lot of them have Game Pass memberships. And it would be pure stupidity to buy this game outright if you already have a Game Pass subscription. That being said, on the Xbox side, no. There's going to be a huge disparity between the people that play this game on Game Pass and those who outright buy it. So Sam Ash, it didn't shake me though. I have great games to look forward to. Xbox is finally getting a quality baby AAA game. And somebody from the outside had to bring it to him. Microsoft didn't deliver it to him. Somebody from the outside had to give it to him. Nick, you said, I don't own an Xbox and never will, but I'll consider moving to PC in the future. Like I said, I got them all. I got a PC, I got a PS5, I got a PS4 Pro, and I got an Xbox One S. Being that I'm primarily a VR channel, I have an Xbox, I have PlayStation VR, I have an Oculus Rift S, and I have 3 of these babies right here, the Oculus Quest 2. I have 3 of these, and I have the original Oculus Quest. That being said, in here, I have a total of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a total of 7 headsets in here. You know, because I have a PlayStation VR that needs to be sent out for repairs, because I actually got 2 PlayStation VRs. One of them needs to be sent out for repairs. But headsets, I think I got 7 headsets in here. Got 3 Oculus Quest 2, the original Oculus Quest, that's 4. The Oculus Rift S is 5, and then 2 PlayStation VRs. So this is primarily a VR channel, but MLB The Show was one of the flat screen games that I still played. And just like this, if I choose not to buy this game on the PlayStation, I do not have to. Which, I put it this way, I put it this way. You guys heard me say that 98% of the reason that I got the PlayStation VR, neither the PS5 was for PlayStation VR 2. The other 2% was for MLB The Show and God of War Ragnarok. Take the VR aspect out of this whole situation. The only 2 reasons now for me to get a PlayStation 5 is MLB The Show and God of War Ragnarok. And one of them, you just made it available on another platform. So now there's really only, as far as flat screen games goes, there's only one reason now for me to get a PS5, and that's God of War Ragnarok. Now, so is MLB The Show moving forward? I no longer have to have a PlayStation to play the game. I don't have to buy it anymore if I don't want to. I can be El Cheapo and get a Game Pass subscription. On the PlayStation side, like the effects are going to be immediate. The decline in sales are going to be immediate. It might be only a few this year, but the big hit is going to come next year. Caleb Kaiser. I had to do my Jay Barry impression. Caleb Kaiser. What's good with you, man? How you doing? Sam Ash, I do miss the golden age of gaming, definitely. Nick, it is sad when Xbox sees the value of PlayStation game more than PlayStation does. They don't see the value of this game. They're laughing at the PlayStation people because it is on their platform and they don't have to pay for it. They don't see the value in this shit. You had this whole venture right here was a situation of two greedy entities coming together. MLB is greedy and Microsoft is greedy. Let's make greed together. That's what this shit was. Caleb Kaiser, you said does MLB The Show has a VR mode? Actually, Caleb Kaiser, that was my eventual dream. When I made the jump to VR, my eventual dream was to see all the major sports come to VR. We get a 2K, NBA 2K in VR, a Madden in VR, MLB The Show in VR, NHL hockey in VR. Now, there are remnants of all of those sports in VR right now, but there's not really full-blown games like that. I play a game called VR Sports Challenge, where the football part of it, you're executing a 2-minute drill down the field to try to score the winning touchdown. The basketball part of it is not a full-blown basketball game. It's like some half-court shit where you're trying to run plays to get an open basket. Once you score or once the other team gets a rebound, it stops right there, and then the game starts all over again with you inbounding the ball. The baseball part of it is home run derby. And then the hockey side of it is you're playing the goalie, and once you make 3 stops in a row, the game automatically transitions to a breakaway for you to try to score a goal. But none of this is full-blown games. That's why we needed PlayStation VR to be successful. That's why we need PlayStation VR 2 to be successful. We said this before, that Microsoft are opportunists. We need them to get on board too, as far as the VR part of it goes. But Microsoft are opportunists. Microsoft does not take any chances. They won't take the risk. They'll let somebody else do it. And then once they see that it's a gold mine, they'll come running in there with their wheelbarrows and their shovel trying to get gold out of that mine. They won't take a chance. Microsoft won't go to a big rock and place the dynamite in there and blow that big ass hole open and go in there and start mining. They'll let Sony and everybody else do that as far as VR goes. And when they see Sony and Oculus coming out of that mine with wheelbarrows of gold, they're going to jump right in there and run in there with their wheelbarrow too. That's how Microsoft rolls. They don't take chances. They piggyback off of everybody else's success. The Kinect piggybacked off the Wii. The avatars piggybacked off the Me. What else we got? Games with Gold piggybacked off the success of PlayStation Plus. The share button on the Xbox Series X piggybacked off the share button of the PlayStation. Microsoft is not innovative. They weren't even the first ones to come up with voice chat. Sega did it before them on the Dreamcast. It didn't work the way it does now, but there was voice chat on the Dreamcast. How do I know? Because I was doing it. They had a game called Alien Isolation. It was a 4-on-4 game. And then when you wanted to talk to your teammates, you pressed the button and you recorded a message. And then once you released the button, it would play that message through the TV screens of your teammates so they could hear whatever it was you're trying to communicate to them. So, Caleb Kaiser, no VR mode. What a missed opportunity. It's still not over yet because, VR is growing. It's definitely growing. The Oculus Quest, in the first 3 months, people have already speculated that the headset might have sold up to 4 million headsets, whereas Sony might still be sitting in the 5 million range as far as VR headsets. I see you, Kyle Farce. What's good, man? How's work been? Damn, I lost my train of thought about VR. I was talking about how it's exploding. So VR is growing because Oculus has already said AAA games are coming to VR because they already got a deal with Ubisoft to bring Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed to the Oculus Quest. So yes, we're getting some shit. VR is growing. We're gonna get AAA games. But I think Microsoft is gonna wait until VR is like a gold mine where, when Sony comes walking out of that mine with wheelbarrows full of gold, when a couple of nuggets drop on the ground, Microsoft is going to go run over there, grab those nuggets and stick them in their pocket. And when they see it happening 2 or 3 times, they're going to say, yo, Aaron Greenberg, go get that wheelbarrow and bring it over here so we can get in there and get some of this gold. So, Kyle Farce, he said, good, bro. Sorry for messing you up. I miss you, brother. Hey, I miss you too, man. I promise to be in touch more in the future. Adriana Gomez, Xbox Live started a lot of friendship, dude. They did, but they also started a lot of egregious practices too. So thanks, Jay Barr. You said League is spitting straight facts. All this shit that y'all talk about with Microsoft and Sony and all this shit, I've been observing all this shit, and I've been paying, and I pay attention to some of it. As far as Microsoft and Sony goes, I pay attention to that part. The console war, I don't pay attention to that part. I walked away from that shit because I can't listen to the Xbox side go out there and deliberately spread lies to the point where you have to get developers to come in there and correct them. So I don't think that's cool to deliberately lie on a brand to try to sell consoles on the other side that you don't even work for. So it may sound like hypocrisy, but I have a vested interest in wanting VR to grow because in order for big AAA publishers like Activision, Activision has dabbled in VR before because they got the Jackal mission on PlayStation VR, but I think you got to buy the Call of Duty game in order to access that mission. Some of the big publishers, Ubisoft and shit like that, is getting on board. We just got Medal of Honor VR, which is a high budget game. But in order for us, in my opinion, in order for EA to take a chance and bring Madden to VR, in order for Activision to take a chance and bring a full-blown Call of Duty game to VR, you get my point? It has to be profitable. And in order for it to be profitable, somebody has to take a chance on VR. Somebody got to be willing to take the hits. Somebody got to be willing to take their lumps and take the risk and lose some money. Somebody's got to be willing to go backwards before we can go forward. And Microsoft is standing on the sidelines. So to use some of the terms that I've heard, Microsoft don't build the house. They come and live in it after it's done. Microsoft don't help you train for the race. They wait for the winner so they can pat them on the back and shit like that. Microsoft, they don't do none of the work. They sit there and try to cash in on the rewards. Said Eastern Conference, yeah, Microsoft horsing and they community bugging to watch this gen. Adriana Jones, you said, do I have the Oculus or yeah, right here, the Oculus Quest 2. Yeah, I was saying I got 7 headsets in here. These Oculus Quest 2s, I got 3 of them. Actually, it's actually 2. I bought 3 of them and gave one to my son. I still got 2 of them here. I got 2 Oculus Quest 2s. I got the original Oculus Quest. I've got 2 PlayStation VRs, and I got the Oculus Rift S. And I actually had more than that. I had a PlayStation VR that I sent to Craig Harris, and I had an Oculus Rift CV1 that I sent to BitCloud. Matter of fact, I bought a PlayStation VR and sent that to Titanfall Princess. And I'm going to keep a promise that when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to send another PlayStation VR to Fatal Mephisto. True Ally, you said VR is going nowhere fast. VR is going nowhere fast to the point that Ubisoft has a deal with Oculus to bring Splinter Cell and Assassin's Creed to the Oculus Quest. Wow. So I guess since VR is going nowhere fast, I guess Ubisoft was stupid for making that deal, and this venture will be doomed from the start. Come on, man, stop it. I've already said it. You know what? I've said this already. In the first 3-4 months that VR has been out, they have already matched what the PlayStation VR has done for the 4.5 years that it's already been out. Say, Caleb Kaiser, you still, do you think when MLB The Show 2023 releases, the PSVR 2 will probably be already out? Yeah, I think the PlayStation VR 2. I think PlayStation VR 2 is definitely coming out in 2022, and I think it's coming out in the first half of 2022. That's why I think Gran Turismo 7 got delayed so they can use it as a launch title for PSVR 2. Ain't that a coincidence? You know, GT7 gets delayed. Shortly after that, we get the announcement about PlayStation VR. We see the controllers of the game. Of the headset, and the controllers are up to industry standards with the thumbsticks and stuff like that. The current PlayStation VR had a huge title launch, you know, because they had Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. If PlayStation VR 2 was coming out this year, Resident Evil Village would be the big title that would launch PlayStation VR 2. But that's what, coming out in a couple months or whenever it's supposed to be. They need a huge title in order to sell the headset. GT7 is that title. I believe that GT7 is complete. I believe the game is ready to go. They probably just need to pull out, the turtle wax and give it a nice little shine. But I think other than that, I think GT7 is ready to go. I think they're just holding it back to use it as a launch title for PlayStation VR. That being said, GT7 on the PlayStation VR is the biggest reason why I bought the PS5. I have racing games on PC, that I race in VR. A set of Corsa Competizione, Project Cars 2, Automobile Lista 2. I've got a ton of racing games that I can race in VR, but I also want GT7 in VR. The current situation with the current VR is that you cannot race online, and when you play against the AI, you're only racing against one car. It's a 1v1 race, and that is because of the limited hardware of the PS4. The PS4 Pro is capable of doing all that stuff that I said, but because Sony mandated that the PS4 be included in all development for the PS4 Pro, that meant that we got, I don't want to say we got a lot of bullshit games, but we had games that, in my opinion, did not match up to PC. Once PSVR launches on PS2, we're going to get games that match up to PC. I think they're going to look about as good as PC, as far as like my PC is concerned. and you're gonna see a lot of multiplayer games. You're gonna see an avalanche of VR games when PlayStation VR 2 comes out, because there's a lot of games that's on PC right now that they want to bring to PlayStation VR, but they can't because the PS4 is too weak and the Move controllers are dated. So that's where I stand on that. What game do you like to play in VR? I play a lot of shit. A lot of racing games. In fact, I got to get ready to go here pretty soon because I got to get together with my UK boys because we're getting ready to stream a set of Corsa Competition, and we'll be racing in VR. My friend Hand for the Win, my UK partner in crime, along with Kevy D, JD Max, and along with J Dub. J Dub will be there too. Make sure you check it out. My friend Hand for the Win, or Ham VR, the link to his YouTube channel is in the description. Go sub, make sure you check that out because we run this race from a number of different angles. So he also has the broadcast angle set up too. So definitely check it out. Matrix, could the rumored SOCOM multiplayer be developed by Guerrilla Games via VR? I believe it. I think I've been saying that for months. When I first heard the rumor that the Guerrilla Games had brought in, some of the Rainbow Six people to help with a multiplayer shooter game that they were working on, my first thought is that they are working on the next Killzone, and that's going to be in VR. But then when I heard the rumors about SOCOM, hold on a second, just a second. Let me grab something real quick. Okay, this right here, this is the PlayStation aim controller for the PlayStation VR. When you play shooter games, you hold it like this, and it may look like a piece of plastic, but when you put that VR headset on your head, it turns into a gun. Can you imagine playing SOCOM, with this? That's why I believe that SOCOM is going to get VR development. VR support. It may not happen day one, but I think it's going to happen. Matrix would be a big evolution from Firewall Zero Hour. Exactly. One of the big, Firewall Zero Hour is a good game, but I've got 2 complaints. I got 3 complaints about the game. No dedicated servers, no host migration, and tracking is still an issue. So, how long have I been on now? Oh, hour and 40 minutes. Damn. Hey, but I kind of knew this was going to happen because I knew a lot of I knew all you guys were going to bring a lot of interesting points to the chat. Adriana Gomez, how do you feel about Forza? I walked away from Forza a while back. Not so much because of how I feel about the game, but it's not as huge as it looks. It's just because I'm close to the camera. Let me stand back so you can get an idea. Right here, see? When you playing shooter games, this is what I'm doing when I'm playing these shooter games. So, but Forza, I quit playing Forza because that community is the dirtiest games. They're the dirtiest community of racers that I've ever seen. I was in a race once on Forza. I'm in 11th place, and I was getting ready to pass a guy, and he knocked me off the road just so I wouldn't pass him. They are the dirtiest racers out there, and Forza at the time did not have a penalty system. All the other racing games have a penalty system. A set of Corsa Competition, Project Cars 2, GT Sport. They all have penalty systems to discourage dirty racing. Forza did not have a penalty system in place, so everybody was racing dirty. If somebody got mad at you, they knocked you off the road. If somebody if they didn't want you to pass them, they'd knock you off the road. So I walked away from it. Oh, Adriana Gomez, you say, yeah, it was the angle. So yeah, I mean, because the camera's right here. You know, look how long, you know, look how big my fist looks right there on that camera. So this thing definitely looked big in front of the camera. So it's not as big as it looked, you know, right here. Snake Doctor, all Destruction Derby all the time. Hey, I'm kind of glad that was a free game because I felt like Destruction Derby. Oh, not Destruction Derby. I'm thinking Destruction All Stars. I was going to say that game right there is Twisted Metal meets Rocket League. Not a $70 game, but I still think it's fun. There are compilations on YouTube showing all of the ramming. Yeah, there's one guy, I can't remember his name. He has a series called, Idiots of the Week. He has a series called Forza Idiots of the Week, where they show you all the dirty shit that people was doing, where they try to knock you off the road and send your car flying over the wall and shit like that. So just go to YouTube and type in Forza Idiots of the Week, and you can check those videos out. Some of those shits had me absolutely laughing. I mean, I've run enough of these races and had enough dirty shit happen to me. Oh, you said, you're talking about Forza in terms of how dirty they play. You saying that it's Destruction Derby all the time. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry I didn't catch that, but yeah, you're right. But I'll get ready to wrap it up here pretty soon because I got to get ready to get my next stream set up because, like I said, I'm getting ready to hook up with my UK partners on a set of Corsa Competition. So I'll be back on here. Once I end this stream, I'll probably be right back on about a half hour later because it takes a few minutes for me to get everything to set up because when I stream games, I use a 2 PC setup. I've got my gaming PC in there, and I use this PC to stream, and it's connected to that PC in there, so it takes a lot of stress off of my gaming PC by having this PC take care of the streaming part. Snake Doctor, go into turn 1 instantly, Destruction Derby. Yeah. Adriana Gomez, MLB just moved its All-Star game out of Atlanta. They might as well put it on Game Pass. The actual All-Star game that you watch and the World Series, they might as well put it on Game Pass. They already fucked everything else up. Oh, Caleb Kaiser, you retracted that message before I had a chance to read it. Hey, this sounds like a rap video, but I really I enjoy talking to all of you, and I am disappointed that this. I was already disappointed in the first place that MLB The Show was going to the Xbox because it had already devalued the PlayStation console to begin with, just for the simple fact that it was going to Xbox. Now that it's going to Game Pass, it devalued the console even more. No, let's put it this way. When MLB The Show went to Xbox, it devalued the PlayStation. Now that it's going to Game Pass, it devalued the game itself. So now that it's on Game Pass, the game itself and the PlayStation console has been devalued. He said that was the wrong info, by the way. Okay. Oh. Georgia Republicans must be proud. I don't know. Maybe Major League Baseball got Me Too'd. I don't know. Maybe Game Pass Lives Matter. That's what it was. That's why. See, that's what happened. Game Pass Lives Matter. That's why the shit got moved out of Atlanta. The Game Pass Lives Matter chapter in Atlanta Me Too'd them. So now They probably going to move the All-Star game to Brazil. Let me check a few things here. Get ready to wrap it up here in a second. I appreciate everybody coming by. I really do. What did he say? Oh yeah. Okay. Sam Ash, man, if PlayStation ever went the route of Xbox, I would want to kick Xbox gamers straight in the gut. It was because of the stupid voting restriction law. Okay, Snake Doctor. Again, Sam Ash, even though Sony is sending a lot of these PS4 games to PC, they're still trying to sell the PS5, so therefore a lot of these games are not immediately going to go to PC from the PS5. I will say that if a game launches on PS5 and it doesn't sell very well, it could end up going to PC more sooner than later, but it's definitely not going there day one. So, he said, did baseball take a stand on the voting? Maybe. I don't know. So, yes, it's a quarter after. I feel like I could sit here and talk all day. I'm really enjoying this, but I really need to get going because I got to get the next stream set up so I can get ready to race. So for those of you that are racing fans, I will be racing a set of Corsa Competición in VR, which I absolutely love. So if you're a racing fan, check me out here again in about a half an hour when I get the next stream set up. And again, I'll be joined by my UK partners in crime, Ham VR, Kevin D77. I'll also be joined by JD Max and J Dub, my guy J Dub. So definitely come and check us out. He says, sign one of those headsets and auction it off. I want one. You know what? If I could take it to my cousin Floyd and ask him to auction it. Then it'd really be worth some money. Starting to get a scratchy throat too here. So you'll drop by? Kurds, I don't know how you want that pronounced, but I say Krids or Kurds. You drop by, I appreciate it. Really do. I do have to forewarn everybody, you probably won't see too many more podcasts like this because I'm not involved in the console war. Although I was in the beginning, when I first started my channel about 3 years ago, it was primarily a PlayStation channel. And there was a lot of console war shit. But once I made that transition to VR, I found it much more pleasant to do streams about something that I'm passionate about rather than rant videos trying to debunk lies. So, you probably won't see too many more podcasts like this. I'll still, if you're into VR and you want to know what's going on with VR, and now that I got a PS5, I'll talk about VR stuff that I think is relative to the PS5. But console war shit, no, that's not me. The console war you said Floyd's not a gamer. I want yours. All right. All right, I can go with that. The console war, in my opinion, especially if you're on the PlayStation side, it's a never-ending job because, you got YouTubers who deliberately spread lies, and then they deliberately spread lies on Sony, and then you have you have the PlayStation community and sometimes developers having to come out and debunk this shit. And it's just a never-ending job having to fight this damn console war. I'd rather play my games. I enjoy VR, and the PS5 has actually brought me back to flat screen gaming because I bought a few games for my PS5. You know, Miles Morales, Call of Duty Cold War, Watch Dogs, Legion, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Madden. So I bought some games for my PS5, and the PS5 has brought me back to console gaming. VR is still my first preference, and it's still the majority of the games that I play. But I have been enjoying my PS5, and you will see me do some PS5 streams. I've already done some. In fact, when my son comes over here tomorrow, he's going to resume playing Spider-Man Miles Morales as well as Watch Dogs Legion. So if you want to check those out, drop in. Christopher Hart, I shared this stream out on Twitter, and it seems Xbox trolled this stream to post my comments on their Twitter page. There's some badass stalking trolls in the Xbox community. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to find you on Twitter so I can see what the see what kind of comments it was. I mean, I don't know. And that was the other thing. When I did get a lot of trolls. I had to block a lot of people when I was doing this console war shit. I had to block a lot of people, but once I transitioned over to VR, I wasn't, the trolls pretty much disappeared. And when I first started my channel, because I knew I was going to be caught up in this console war shit, I kept it a secret that I was Floyd Mayweather's cousin for months. I did not tell anybody. Only a handful of people knew, like Porter Rock knew, Thrash knew, Sick knew, Titanfall Princess knew, and Craig knew. Somehow it slipped out that I was Floyd's cousin. So for like the first couple of weeks, I was denying it. But then as I was making that transition over to VR and all the trolls were disappearing, then I figured it was okay. It's safe to come out and admit that I was Floyd's cousin, because what I didn't want was somebody trying to track down who I am through him, and then I end up, getting doxxed. So, well, Stalker 2 is coming out. Social Joys, this game has been devalued now, as it is good as a free game, good as a free-to-play game. Nobody will be paying any price for this game now, and that's and get ready for the degradation of this game. Like I said, moving forward, this year will be the last year, in my opinion. This will be the last year that it'll be a quality game, assuming that it's a quality game. After that, it's going to go downhill from here, because being that it's a game that a lot of people will be able to access without paying for it, I don't think, Sony or San Diego Studios will have any motivation to continue to be innovative with this game and continue to pour quality in this game, because sales are going to go down on the PlayStation side, because a lot of people, in my opinion, are going to gravitate towards Game Pass to play this game now. So, like I said, get ready for this game in about 3-4 years to look like some cheap-ass State of Decay bullshit, and get ready for Sony to relinquish this license once it's up. Once this license runs out, I think Sony's going to relinquish it, and then EA is going to jump on it. So by 2025, get ready for the EA version of this baseball game, and Sony will probably wash their hands with this shit. So, yeah, you said MLB would deserve it. I just watch the wars for entertainment sometimes if I'm bored. If I have to use Twitter to help. I have to use Twitter to help push my channel. Because I have, OBS Streamlabs linked to my Twitter channel. So every time I go live on Twitter, it sends out a notification that I'm live. And I make a lot of posts every day on Twitter regarding VR, and sometimes, and all news, VR, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, PC, anything gaming related. I look at the daily news every morning. I check out the gaming news, and then whatever I think people might find interesting, I post it on Twitter. So yeah, I use Twitter as a big tool to help push my channel. That being said, I cannot escape the console wars. Every time I jump on Twitter, there's something toxic going on, and I've gotten to the point now where I don't even want to watch podcasts anymore, this console war shit, because I already see enough of it on Twitter. I'll watch something every now and then, but no, I don't watch that shit anymore like I used to, because I'm done with the console war shit. And I love VR. You know, I want VR news. Social joins. I don't think they will leave for Game Pass. It's a nice niche game. People won't pay for this game. What I'm saying is, Sony lost the sales of the people who have both a PlayStation and an Xbox and an Xbox Live membership. If you have an Xbox and an Xbox Live membership as well as a PlayStation, what would be the logical choice for you to play that game? There's no longer a reason to buy it on PlayStation now if you own both consoles and you have Game Pass. This is a big blow. And I think as Sony slowly watches the decline in sales on the PlayStation side, you also is going to be reflected in the quality of the game. Long before you came in here, I already said it. Mark my words. MLB The Show is going to be on PlayStation Now before the year is up, because that's kind of a slap in the face to the PlayStation community. What's going to happen is Sony is going to milk this game as much as they can off the PlayStation community, get as many sales as they can off of it, and then they'll probably put the game on sale once it starts to slow down, sell it for $40 on PS4, $50 on PS5, maybe have one more sale when it's $30 on PS4, $40 on PS5, and then once all that shit dries up, it goes to PlayStation Now. Adriana Gomez, MLB got the bag from Microsoft, has been overpaying to get games in Game Pass. More devs will join. They all want a bag. Horizon might end up getting Game Pass. Come on now, stop that, Adriana Gomez. What will happen now is this game, in my opinion, sends a message on the Xbox side. It sends a message to developers that they know that their game is not going to sell on the Xbox. So they probably already come prepared to put the game on Game Pass on the Xbox. As that continues to happen and people start to see that more AAA games are going to Game Pass day one, they might slowly gravitate over there. So this evil empire shit that Microsoft is trying to do, I hate to say it, it might actually fucking work. So, social joys, big facts, agreed. Chasing money, lost them more money long term. Greed is incredible, exactly. I said it before. And again, I got to get ready to go, and I'll say it again before I get ready to go. I feel so stupid that I didn't see this coming. I knew Game Pass would come into play sooner or later. Quanvo, you said not going for that. I knew Game Pass would come into play sooner or later. This is a quality game. I said it earlier in the podcast. This is a quality game, and I figured that MLB would see the opportunity to hit customers twice. Sell the game for all you can get out of it on the Xbox side. Sell it for $70 for as many, and sell it for as many units as you can get. And then right before the World Series, you put it on Game Pass right at the height of the baseball season. The big crescendo, the final, the grand finale. Then you put it on Game Pass. That's when I thought this game would go to Game Pass. Not from the beginning. And I'm embarrassed that I didn't see this coming, because I guess I underestimated the Xbox. I thought I knew they wouldn't buy this game near as much as they buy the game on the PlayStation, but I thought a couple of them would buy it. Enough that MLB wouldn't feel desperate enough to have to bring it to Game Pass, but I guess I was dead wrong. And I'm a little embarrassed that I didn't see this coming. Not this early. I saw it coming. I seen it coming in November when the World Series happens, but not now. Yeah, I'm embarrassed by it. So, Adriana Gomez, money talks, bull walks. Company will always take the bird in hand over two in the bush. Yeah, and they'll take the quick bird in the hand. So, me not seeing this coming, again, like, it is what it is. But I don't know. Maybe whoever went to the commissioner with this whole scheme in the first place probably told him, let's send this game over to Xbox. And and be prepared for Game Pass to be our plan B if the game doesn't sell well. So we couldn't even get a PSVR mode, but it goes to Game Pass. You didn't get a PSVR mode because the regular PS4 can't handle it. Honestly speaking, with the PS4 right now, if MLB The Show would have come to PlayStation VR in any capacity, it only would have been a home run derby. Because you guys don't have any idea how much VR taxes your PC. I'll give you a point. Flat screen games do not take on a PC. Flat screen games does not tax your PC near as much as VR does. Here's something for you to go by. I benchmarked Rainbow Six Siege on my PC. Ultra settings, 4K. I was getting between 100 and 134 frames per second. On ultra settings with the PC turned all the way up for an average of 118 frames per second. I was playing a set of Corsa Competizione on my PC in VR on high settings, not ultra settings, high settings, and I was only getting 40 frames per second. And then the PC overhead, the meter that I was using, the PC overhead was in a negative. My PC overhead was like constantly at negative 20. It takes a lot. The regular PS4 would not have been able to handle some kind of MLB The Show game in VR. The PS4 Pro probably could have handled it, but you won't see it because Sony mandated that anything that's being developed for the PS4 Pro, the PS4 must be included in that development because they wanted parity across the board and did not want PSVR Pro people having any kind of advantage. That being said, I think there's a ton of games that the PS4 could have run at 60 frames per second. The PS4 Pro was a big disappointment in the sense that we didn't see the full potential of that console. Now, when PSVR 2 comes out, we will see the full potential of that VR because PS4 won't be included. They are leaving it behind. PLO, you said that's what I'm saying though. We didn't even get a home run derby on PSVR mode. There is a home run derby game at the PlayStation Store, but they got some fucking Lego block graphics and shit. So I'm telling you guys, that's VR taxes this shit out of a PC. That's why you see, like, if you see a flat screen game on the PlayStation 4 and then you see that same game in VR, it's blurry as fuck because the the PlayStation 4 struggles to run the VR. There's a compromise there. If they would have, they could have, on the regular PS4, as far as VR goes, they could have turned the graphics up, but the frame rate would have been dog shit. And frame rate is one of the biggest things that causes motion sickness with VR. So Sony makes it clear anything that comes to the PlayStation format for VR must run at 60 frames per second. No compromises. So let's see here. I think yep, I just got the message from Ham. Okay, Kurds or Crids, I see you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. But that being said, I really got to get out of here now because I got to get ready to get set up for the next stream. So again, those who want to check out some racing, check me out here in a few minutes. I'll be hooking up with my UK crew as well as JD Max and J Dubs. You know J Dub, your resident Xbox troll. He'll be joining us on a set of course competition. So come check us out. That being said, I'm getting ready to boogie on out of here. Definitely appreciate everybody popping in. This was a very enjoyable session. I appreciate everybody's input, even the one that's making the Xbox jokes. I still appreciate it. It was still funny. That being said, I'm gonna boogie on out of here. You guys know the line: Wakanda forever, long live the king, and deuces. I'll holler at y'all later. Thanks for watching, everybody.